Hola amigos, gracias por estar con nosotros.
Hello and welcome to our show El Mundo, the World. And today we're going to talk to Dr. Michael Laitman about the culture, the cancel culture. Hello, Dr. Laitman. Hello, everyone.
Recientemente se habla mucho en los medios.
Dr. Laitman, recently there's a lot of talk on the media about something called cancel culture. I'll read the definition. It is a phenomenon of canceling or withdrawing support, economic, moral support from people or the media that are considered to be disqualified. For saying the wrong thing or not meeting certain expectations. Sometimes it can even happen to a celebrity or someone with an opinion that might not be popular on the web. So, in simple words, the cancel culture or the cancellation is to show our discontent with that person. What do you think about this? Look, we're living in times where our ego, where our will to receive is erupting so strongly that it doesn't want to hear, it doesn't want to listen, it disagrees, it doesn't want to discuss anything with anyone in any practical way, making some kind of supplementation, complimenting one another. But the main thing is to cancel each other out. Sometimes I watch shows on TV trying to see some kind of a practical debate, and it doesn't happen. And this happens between intellectuals, well-read people, professors, doctors. I'm not talking about politicians that's their profession, to cancel each other out and I'll be king. But altogether, it entered society so deeply, modern society, it entered it so deeply that it makes no room for any kind of consent, for any kind of expression. It's very hard. And I'm very sorry to hear about this. It just shows how we altogether lost our ability for civilized conversation, education, and the only thing left is an ego that wants to destroy everyone in the form of I will be king, I will rule. This is actually the call of the hour.
La cultura de la cancelación dicen que lo positivo.
Those that justify the culture, the cancel culture, they say that the positive thing about it is that the other person knows that he will be judged, that it helps him to maybe restrain himself from expressing different racist opinions or harmful opinions. It's something that you can also use positively in order to avoid insult and things like that. It's a problem because it's something that became customary in society. That if we want to sit together, I and someone who's my opponent, and comes out some usher, and so we have to talk in a way that each of us wants to talk over the other as much as possible, because otherwise you're not going to be let to talk. All of this chit-chat is intended only in order to break, to express my opinion. The more I yell out, the more acute, the more quickly I speak. And it's not about rationale or anything. We see that these things, they lead to a state where Lately, I stopped watching these kinds of shows. In the past, I wanted to know, what does this person think? What does that person think? Today, you can't know. Because each of them is shouting at the other, and they're talking together. And you can't understand what's going on. It's so far from how things used to be, where each person intelligently talked, the other listened, and replied in a rational way. Nothing. It's all gone. The only thing left is shouting. About what? Also hard to understand.
Aparte de lo que sucede en los medios de comunicación,
besides what's going on the medium and on the social media, Facebook, and so on,
o de la academia,
it's also going on in the academic world, in science. Suppose if someone in the university and his
escriben una carta a la universidad y dicen hay que
suppose some professor or someone says something that his students see as offending, the students write a letter and the university might even fire that professor. So you can't really express your opinion.
Si debería existir, ¿cuál debería
So the question is are there supposed to be some kind of boundaries? Dr. Laitman, I don't think there should be any boundaries. I think that people should simply be educated. That when they speak before an audience, on any kind of media or in the university, before students, suppose, you have to teach them, educate them. And there's no such thing as a course for educating how to debate, how to talk. That if there's a narrator, someone who's speaking to the public, then he has to know how to present. There are people that teach these things, but it's not that this is something that it's like widespread education, because today many people speak to the public and the only thing they do is they yell. That's how they think of success. Why is this phenomenon still something so general? There's no sense of pluralism. It only brings to greater polarization. I think that because the situation is very acute, very serious, and here no one has the correct opinion. Because everyone says something that a few days later you see how wrong they were. But in the meantime, he wants to show himself. We're in a state where we are in constant decline. The coronavirus came not in order to infect us or make us ill, but in order to bring us down to a level where we will understand how incapable of being together we are, that we can't function as a human society. And so what follows is that we think that it's the illness that's the problem. It's not about the illness. It's our relationships that we can't arrange correctly. And therefore, this is something that we can't understand. And we're thinking that through yelling, that each of us will be able to restore the world back to how it was. The world is not going back to how it was. Society is only deteriorating more and more. And we have to understand that our Savior is to learn, our salvation is to learn how to relate to each other. If it won't happen, we won't hear each other, we won't see each other.
Esa es la pregunta, ¿cómo relacionarnos correctamente? ¿En qué consiste?
So that's exactly the question. how to correctly relate to each other. What is true pluralism? True pluralism is that I understand everyone, that everyone says the right things, not by politics, not what he's supposed to say according to his position, but he's allowed to say what he thinks, but in a way that he does it, in a way that those next to him can also express their opinion. And then we will hear each other. What will come as a result? That's a question. I don't think that much will come out of it, because no one knows the correct reason for the coronavirus. No one talks about it. But at least it won't be just shouting and mutual hate.
About
the different aspects of life where there can be a debate, are there things that we should cancel, and if so, what? No, we only have to understand that we're in a state where nature is bringing us closer to each other. And as a result, we discover how different we are and can't stand each other. And that we have to search for a remedy for our ego, how to be close to each other and not to hate that much, and even to complete one another, supplement each other. It's a big problem. That if we don't do this, our future altogether, I don't think that there will be a future. In order to have a future, the question is, what should we think then when we communicate with another person? Suppose we have offensive thoughts. So, is this something that should be canceled? I don't think so. I think that the time has come for us to practically relate to each and every person and make room for every person and give every person the time to express himself and to perform true scrutinies based on science and wisdom, psychology, but not that simply one yells at the other. I didn't hear any rationale in any of these TV debates. Nothing. But it's something that has to be taught. The people have to learn how to talk to each other. The question is, before we cancel each other out or cancel each other's opinion, should a person restrict himself, limit himself, if he has a certain thought and he should express it? Should he express it only if it's constructive and won't offend the other? Should I, for example, limit myself about the things that I feel that are offensive? Dr. Laitman, no, you don't have to cancel anything, only you have to arrange the debate so it will be practical, to the point, without any aggravation, but about the matter itself, that all in all what we have to show is that we want to the benefit of the public, to the benefit of man, to the benefit of the world. If we talk that way, then we don't beat each other up, but we're looking together for the right way. And then, out of two people that are opposed to each other, what comes out is that we're discussing what way could be correct and which isn't, and every such a meeting can really be an entire topic for scrutiny. And out of these different topics, we can eventually see what's the right way for us to advance toward good. The problem is that today, and the people that experience or that use this culture, this cancel culture, they say that they're doing it to the benefit of society. Suppose some company that advertises something that can offend a certain group in society, then there's a call to block this company, boycott them, not to buy from them, so they won't offend by their agenda. Yeah, I see that it's really reaching a state where soon there will be wars, people will start killing each other on the streets and things like that. I don't think that this will bring us to anything good or to making some kind of serious, correct decision. Our ego that's growing does not allow us to not only to agree with the other person, but to listen to the other person altogether. I'm in contact with the other person to destroy him and really step on him. This is what every person that comes to a debate thinks, and it's hard to look, it's hard to watch. How can we correct this? I don't think that it's possible to correct it before we correct our ego. It won't help us to educate, to this, to that. The truth is that it all has to do with the size of our ego that in our time it's called a new generation, that it grew to such an extent that no one wants to use their mind, their emotion to listen to the other. My ego simply doesn't allow me to. I can't make any contact with the other person, actually. And so this is how we behave. How is it possible to correct the ego? There has to be a special kind of education. My profession, the wisdom of Kabbalah, explains how to do it. It's done by coming closer to each other, by learning how does the other benefit you, how do you benefit him, how is he in your favor, you in their favor, and by this you can correct people through this attitude and even make them friends regardless of the opinion that they have. If so, only if we'll understand what is to the benefit of the public, then we'll know what to do. Yeah, when I completely leave any self-interest, like being the ruler, being president, being something, I leave that, and the main thing for me is the benefit of the collective, of the public, and if I act accordingly, then undoubtedly things will work out for the better, and I will be accepted. However, today, all the people, we choose them according to the amount of money they invested in advertisement and themselves and so on. And accordingly, we choose people, meaning who comes to power or anything, those that know how to better invest, and they have a lot in the media and so on. Dr. Laitman, thank you very much. And we'll be happy to talk to you on our next show. Thank you.